Frank, sit. Sit. Hey. Good boy. So each morning, this is kind of what my routine looks like. I'll come down, let this guy out of his crate, and then I start my day with a walking them. I want to get out into the sun, and we do my daily affirmations. I am not going to take you guys along for that because it's my daily affirmations. This is more just positive self-talk, trying to bring what I want into my universe. So during this period, I'm going to take and I do some self-reflection, think of my gratitude, and just kind of put myself in a positive mindset. So we'll be back and then we'll kick off for meal one.
Single day.
Can't improve it, but now that I'm not in prep, it can have some flavor, so that's the cinnamon raisin. We don't have a toaster, we have an air fryer. Andrea thinks doesn't count. But this has been amazing. I was doing the sourdough before. My new coach put this in my plan over the sourdough. Not quite sure why, but I've been enjoying it. Well, runny yolk or scrambled. But we're gonna throw, she went to the store last night, and all they had was green peppers. I was a little confused there, but they'll work. Just some steak, eggs, peppers, Ezekiel bread, the good stuff. I'll share that with you guys in a second. We might have a new sponsor in the works. But while all of that's going down, we gotta prepare these berries here. So I got the choice of whatever berries I want to do, and it's up to 15 carbs. So I do 100 grams of strawberries and 50 grams of blueberries. Because it's about 200 grams of strawberries is 15 carbs and 100 grams of blueberries. So I do half and half, just to have a little bit of variety. We're also not in prep anymore, so this is actually 122 grams. I don't really care if I get fat tomorrow off of 22 extra grams of blueberries, then we have bigger problems, and it's not the bad. So I'll do that. Full day of eating on the reverse. That's right, you heard it, the reverse, not prep. Now if you guys like green peppers, or for me, I'm really kind of like, I like the sweeter ones, so red, yellow, orange. I haven't seen like the green, I think those are like poblano peppers or whatever in a while, to be honest. How to make rice in a rice cooker. I used to do the pot method. So I would take, and put it on the stove, the water would boil over and make a giant mess. And now, I swear with the amount of rice that I eat, unless I'm dieting, plus the amount of rice that the dogs eat, plus Andrea, I'd have to have a giant pot, and I don't know about you guys, but the rice stays fresher in the rice cooker. Not quite sure why. Andrea just bought this thing here because she's tired of me washing our dishes with the dog's dishes in the same sponge. So she bought that. We'll see how it goes. Not the biggest fan so far. And it's just because I don't think it gets in there deep enough to really scrub. But I do understand what she's saying. Washing the dog bowls with the same sponge is understandable. About 5 to 6, sometimes 7 cups of rice. And I actually do the hand method when I'm filling it up with water. I was told that this is an Asian thing. I don't know how true that is. But I will take, even out this rice here. And this is something I actually got from Chipotle. Because my mom, who's very Asian, does perfect math. It has to be balanced equal ratios. I just cover the top of my hand. Once that's covered, it's enough water. And it always seems to come out perfect. However, Andrea can't do it. So that was 190 grams of raw weight steak there. It's supposed to be 112 grams cooked, but when I was working with Cal, he gave me raw weights for all the food, and I just kept with it that way in terms of, you know, taking and measuring all of my food raw. And what I have noticed is obviously it comes out to different amounts every single time the longer you cook it. So now I just kind of keep it that way, honestly. And I'll just do 190 grams. I still weigh it just to kind of see where it falls, but I'm sure it's going to come out somewhere around 112 to 130 grams. If the pieces, you can see I cut my flank here just so it cooks quicker. If the pieces are bigger, what I have noticed is because they're not as cooked, it will weigh more, versus if they're less cooked, it will weigh, or sorry, if they're smaller pieces, they'll be more cooked, and then it won't be as heavy. And I'm gonna run through that really quick before my food gets cold, or you guys are not gonna see me do that. Okay, so for my fasted digestion shake, this is actually sleep. This is for Winnie. This has been amazing. This is literally what me and Andrea are talking about. Our sleep has been amazing since taking this one scoop about 30 minutes before bed. But I have my shaker here. I'll do 56 grams of aloe juice. Then we do 20 grams of glutamine, 1 scoop of GI Plus, 1 scoop of collagen, chocolate, fiber. Then we'll take and put in 30 grams lemon and 15 grams, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And that there's the fast digestion shake. I'll take that, then I'll take and do my daily affirmation walk with the dogs, allow that enough time to kind of settle and everything. And I take all of that with my 5,000 Revive supplements here. Code BALLARD. But yeah, in all actuality. Now in terms of my meal and what we have, I'm gonna run through it very quickly so I can eat. Let's see if you guys can see this here. I'll just back all of this up, because what I'm gonna do now is, since I already took it and this is already out, I'm gonna make my shake after. So 150 grams of berries, as I mentioned, 100 grams of strawberries, 50 grams of blueberries, 2 slices of Ezekiel bread, 130 grams of steak, cooked flank steak. I don't know what the peppers are there. And then 2 whole eggs. Then we also got 45 grams of cream of rice that I made yesterday, put in the microwave. Then I let it cool overnight in the actual fridge. So it's nice and cool, I don't have to wait. And I honestly think it's better. Now, it could just be that I just got done prepping, so my hunger is through the roof, and like you kind of miss like cold things when you're in prep. At least that's what I've noticed. That's why everyone loves like the creamies and stuff. But I'm gonna inhale this, and then we're gonna run through why I pulled out a prep. So stay tuned. Okay, let's do this. As you guys have probably figured out from the name of the video, I pulled out a prep, and there was a multitude of reasons as to why I pulled out a prep. But I'll start with the biggest one. And that was being my mind was not in a good spot. And, you know, I was close enough that I could have finished it out. My mind wasn't so bad that I couldn't have finished it out either. And, but then I also saw the gaps in my physique as to areas where I still needed to improve if I wanted to win a show. And ultimately, as you guys know, in anything, prepping takes away when, or in anything, when you're going at 100% towards one goal, you're taking away time from other things. For me, that was taking away time from my businesses, my wife, my family, and even just living life for a little bit. So when I sat down with my new coach and I asked him, you know, what do you think? And kind of laid all the cards on the table, and I told him, what do you think about reversing out of this and just closing the gaps that we need to for next year to be able to win a pro show? And he was like, where's this coming from? And I kind of told him everything I just said, you know, that, you know, it was causing a strain within my marriage just because I had been in prep for so long. It was causing a lot of problems there. I just was tired all the time. And don't get me wrong, guys, you should be tired. But I had been tired since about 12 weeks out. I never had a good part of prep where it was like, oh, you're not starving, you're not full. Training is getting better because your leverages are getting better. You see yourself getting leaner and you can see the changes happening every day. I never went through that phase. So, and he kind of expressed to me was, if you're having troubles in your marriage because of this prep, you need to stop, regardless of everything else, because that's life after bodybuilding and that's what matters. And I can't express a thank you to that individual more than anything, because he's 100% right. And you know, Andrea and I weren't going to get divorced. There wasn't any problems that were like huge, but we just hadn't been ourselves for a very long time because prep had been 24 weeks and I was 8 weeks out. So if you do the math there at that point, and to have another 8 weeks to go, you know, Andrea was like, I'm not going to divorce you in 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever. Like, you know, I'm here for the long haul, and if we need to see this through, we'll see it through. She's the most supportive person in my life, and I couldn't do this without her. But to know that I was neglecting her at certain points, or there was just even things that were kind of, like I said, we just weren't living. So he sent me a nice like 5-minute voice note back expressing things and what I saw, what he sees in my physique, and the areas we need to improve to be able to win a pro show. And I was like, you know what, I'm in no rush. You know, we're like, I'm taking away time from being able to not only live life and improve, but also just hoping that if I do win a show, it's because no one shows up, and that's not a way to win either. So it's official. I am pulling out of prep. I am filming a full day of reverse dieting for you at the moment, and I'm very excited for it. My new coach's approach is someone that I expect very, very highly, and they, well, you'll meet them soon enough, but it's someone who they value the outside of bodybuilding just as much as the inside, and that's something that I try to teach and preach to all of my clients as well, because of the fact that, you know what, you could decide tomorrow you don't want to do this anymore, and to throw everything by the wayside is a big mistake in my opinion. So with that being said, right now we're in full reverse. We're gonna have a little bit of a push-up, then a health phase, then we will take and go into our next push, and we're aiming to compete sometime next year. I won't tell you when. And you know, it's very exciting because I spoke with Luis Santo, who would have been judging me at the 2 shows I was planning on doing, and he was like, dude, your shape is unreal. You just got to come in peeled and you'll be in the mix, because you're going to have the shape that a lot of people won't have. But still know like my arms need to be bigger, my back needs to improve quite a bit. I need to close a little bit of like abductor, like inner thigh areas. But what I will say, with all that being said, yes, I didn't make it to the stage. The last time I stepped on stage was 2022 in Chicago. The lowest I saw was 214 this prep here, and I was pretty lean. I still had another 10 pounds to make weight. So if I can have one more, really productive off season, I think that I'll be where I need to be, and that is what is truly exciting. So my goal is to do a YouTube every single week for you guys. I don't want these gaps anymore. With that being said, we are traveling in 2 days to Pittsburgh, North Americans, going back to where Andrea went pro for Jess McGuire. As you guys know, she's been a part of the family for a while now. Her and Logan, they're family. We love them, and that was another thing that was eating at me, was I was not going to be able to be there for her. I've been at every one of her shows except for the very first national show, and we got a job to finish, and I want to finish that together as a team. So really excited for this. I'll lay out my new split in the next training video. I'm going to be taking and collabing with a lot of people. We're going to make a trip out to Raw and Revive. I'll show you what it's like to be a sponsored athlete. We're going to go up to New York, see Anthony. Anthony's also competing in Mexico this coming weekend. Then he's going to come down here. Chris is flying cross country from California. We got the Mid-Florida Pro. I got some people going at the end of the season at Nationals. It has been a hell of a year. It's not done yet. Very exciting. Stay tuned. All right, so time to make our pre-workout meal. Had a lot of business calls this morning, check-ins, and running a little behind. I like to have this started eating about 10 minutes ago. This rice looks fucking amazing. Let's go ahead and throw our post-workout together right now. As I mentioned, my new coach does things a little different because they have all of the food done in cooked weight, but I'm still getting acclimated to this. Got to double check, make sure that that's good. As I'm rushing, I swear guys, that's how things always seem to work, right? When you need everything to be done and are nice and smooth is when you're running behind, that's when everything is like, no, absolutely not. But it's all good. Bigger problems, bigger fish to fry. No reason to be stressed about being able to eat finally. So we'll do 300 grams of raw weight chicken. Throw that in the air fryer for about 22 minutes on 400. If you guys didn't see, my new tattoo that's starting to peel. The good thing is, what we're kind of doing here is very similar to breakfast in the sense that I prepare and already have that ready. So it'll be more about kind of laying together that post-workout meal than anything. But we do have some berries again, some peanut butter, protein powder, banana, and the one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is the variety of foods that I'm eating. Because there's such a big variety of food, I think that's also helped with cravings, and it's also, I'm hitting a lot of micro and macronutrients. So the one thing that I always tell my clients is you should see a lot of color in my diets when I'm putting them together. Because if we have a lot of color, that typically means there's a lot of variety. If we have a lot of variety, that means our gut biome will be in a good spot. Because now we're going to be able to take and cover a broad spectrum of foods. I hadn't had peanut butter in like 6 months and I'm loving it. So what I have here is Elevate Creamy Rice Chocolate Cake. Fire. 45 grams there. Then raw ISO dark chocolate. It's frozen. I'll put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. You gotta watch this closely, otherwise you'll overdo it. But this is gonna come out to like a little thicker pudding consistency. And you can see this one was frozen a bit longer, so we'll do another 3 seconds here. Look how good that looks. Let me spin myself around here so I can see. But yeah, 150 grams, sorry, 115 of pineapple for the post-workout. Same thing as this morning. I have 15 carbs, pre-workout, berries of choice. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing that we did, which is a nice variety there of 100 grams of strawberry, 50 grams of blueberry. We do have, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you, 4 IUs of HGH that I need to take. I'm not gonna show you guys me taking it, but I will tell you, got a brand new kit right there, black tops, ready to go. So we'll slam that today. Peanut butter's good. And then lastly, we got 100 grams of frozen banana. You guys haven't caught the trend yet. I know that you all remember when I was force feeding, my food was so freaking high I didn't care what it came to. Well, boy is hungry. So even veggies are being eaten right now. Because green beans are one of the few things that reheat well is going to be 100 grams of green beans. So we'll do that. I've been flying through them, if I'm being honest. This is the second bag. We are traveling to Pitt, and because of the fact that, you know, veggies as a whole, when you're buying them not in bulk or from like Costco or something, are so freaking expensive, I don't think that I'm gonna actually take and buy any while I'm there, which will make the hunger rampant because I won't have as much food volume. We'll survive. Hopefully that means I'll have a little bit more GI clearance because of the fiber. Last thing, can't forget this, is we're gonna do Urban Moonshiners, 1/4 of a tablespoon, and then 3 betaine, 2 glucose, and I'm out of digestate. So we'll throw this back right now, but let's take a look at the meal. Whoop. As I mentioned, can't forget the pre-workout pump stimulant. Boom. And then look at this rice. Woo! I said I was going to put my pre-workout meal together. Well, my post-workout, you guys already saw me make that pre. And it's actually my favorite meal. And I inhaled it. What you guys didn't see was the process that it takes to make that meal. So I do this every single day while I'm trying to put other things together in the kitchen and be proficient, etc. Is I'll cook these because the process is a bit tedious. You have to mix it, do it again. So you can see creamy rice, isolate right there. Now I have a little over 1 scoop here, and you're gonna like drizzle water into here. So it's like, comes out to almost like a pudding consistency. It's almost like a pudding. So now I'll take that, throw it in the freezer. I gotta hurry up because I've been yelling at Andrea to get here earlier so that we can leave earlier and be back earlier because I need more time in the afternoons to work. Today is leg day, so that will be interesting. Good thing is I don't have any cardio. Since I pulled out of prep, cardio got cut down to 3 sessions of 15 minutes. Can be done whenever. You gotta pay attention to that because I'm telling you right now, it will go over. Shears to cut your meat, you are fucking up. If you worked at Chipotle, I want you to comment in my video because I didn't realize how many people had worked at Chipotle. Look at that rice. Focus. Boom. All right. Now we got 140 grams of chicken, and I just cut the pieces as small as possible for two reasons. The first being digestion. I don't chew my food enough. And if you look at the studies, it actually shows that you're supposed to chew your food like 25 to 30 bites, 30 times per bite. So this will help with digestion and just not having to chew that much as well. And then two, I can get more volume out of it. It'll look like a lot more just because there will be so many pieces of chicken. And I make mine like a little crispy on the outside. It almost looks like there's like some breading on it, but it's not. Our pre-workouts, intra drinks the night before, and I'll show you why, but it's primarily just for this, the time. We're trying to be, proficient. So while we're here at night making dinner and stuff, we just make them, throw in the fridge, they're nice and cold. This is why it's so time consuming, guys, because with the Gerber, you can just stir it up. The blueberry is fire. The blueberry essentials. We don't have fuel in right now, but this flavor is bomb. But Andrea's loving the essentials charged. I'm loving the blueberry. We were having a conversation, I don't know why, but for some reason the essentials hits harder than the charged. Even though technically it should be the other way around. Strawberry lemonade, we kind of go back and forth between this and the kiwi blueberry and the pineapple. But that's the intra stack, and as I told you guys, I would show you why you're not going to see us making them is because we made them the night before. They actually have 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in both. And then our intras are actually in the freezer because we're in Florida and it's 1,000,000 degrees. So everything's pretty much ready. That's been the go-to lately. Code Ballard, help us pay rent. Look at it around the rim. It literally is 2 seconds away from boiling over. Now, she is done. That's one. Protein powders frozen for tomorrow. Post-workout's made. Everything is good to go. We'll see you at MI40. Alright, so obviously that was a wrap on leg day. We rushed home. I inhaled that pre-workout meal, took some insulin, and now I had to work. But look at this. So, as you can see, these are all orders of people here that I'm shipping out gifts. And what I do is I take and I pull from our inventory in here of Revive and Raw. And so what I do, if you guys weren't aware, is for every $150 you spend, I give you $50 in Raw or Revive Supps. If you spend $225, I send you $75 worth of Supps. And if you spend $300, I will send you $100 worth of stuff. And I cover shipping, and I'll send it to you. Whatever you want. So, code Ballard, run it up, go order some shit right now. Don't even finish the YouTube video, go order some shit. In all seriousness, we have the meal right here. So this is 140 grams of chicken, 100 grams of green beans, 115 grams of pineapple, and then 40 ounce Chipotle Cholula. There we go. This is better. Now, of course, we have to pair this with the go-to essentials. 2 glucose, 3 betaine. And now, I am starving. Gotta inhale this, get back to work to get these orders out to you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I got one more meal after this, and I'll promise to talk a little bit more. Okay, so last meal here. This is typically what it looks like for a full day of eating with us. We are wrapping up, and we kind of put all our food together, sit down, and we try to watch a funny movie together. The dogs typically eat about an hour ago. But I said we would discuss what next year is going to look like. So, first thing is, let me show you the meal. Got 48 milligrams of telmisartan, and this is to help with basically making sure I'm not peeing so much throughout the night. And we're going to do 500 milligrams of metformin, a serving of revived kidney. I do this AM and PM, 2 glucose with every meal, cortisol support, and then 3 betaine, 100 grams of green beans, 200 grams of rice, and you can see the cilantro in there, 200 grams of berries, and then over here, you got the salmon. So, let's see here. I can do this with one hand. As you can see how this is going. There we go. Easy enough. It's about 150, 160 grams. Now, in terms of next year, our plans are to compete together so that we're not dieting at opposite times of the year, which makes it very hard on our relationship. So we're not quite sure when that's going to be, because she wants to compete in the middle of the year and I need enough time to continue to grow with the plans that we had discussed, which is making sure that if we are competing, we can see the areas that needed to improve have improved. So we're not quite sure when that's going to be yet, but we will announce that. It's probably going to be towards the end of summer, or maybe even around this time next year, just depending on what she wants to do and what I want to do, and then when we both feel that we will have made the improvements necessary. But that's going to be a wrap on the full day of eating. Thank you for watching.